Hi, thanks for joining me. This is the image that I will be sketching today with ink and watercolor. So I will be doing this in real time, and I'm going to start off with a little pencil, going with ink and some watercolor. So grab your supplies if you want to do this with me. And we'll get started. I'm going to start off by propping up my watercolor pad so it's a little bit easier to sketch. So I like to roll up a little washcloth, keep my pad of watercolor paper, keep it on the pad, keep the sheet on the pad, and then you could just prop it up, and it's a little bit easier to see when you're sketching. I'm going to start off with my mechanical pencil, and this is a Strathmore 7 by 10 inch watercolor paper. So this is a nice student grade. It's good for a sketch like this. We're just having some fun. And I'm going to use my mechanical pencil and just do a few little details before I go in with ink, just to kind of get my bearings and see if I like where I'm placing it on the paper, and that I have everything kind of fitting on there where I want it with the composition that I want. This is Benny's on the beach in Lake Worth, Florida, on the Atlantic. It's a really nice beach with a restaurant. And this is a really nice little image because you've got some people on the beach, you've got an umbrella, and that's a great sign to work on your lettering. And a really nice little pier that kind of goes off into the distance. So I think this is a really, it's got it all. So that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to grab my uni-ball micro, ultra micro that is, pen, and I'm going to just loosely go over my pencil lines. Not trying to be precious, just nice and loose. Got 2 stories here, and a little overhang, and then this nice big Benny's on the beach sign. And I'm exaggerating it a little bit, just a little bit wider on the Benny's on the beach sign. And as the pair goes off, these get a little smaller and a little closer together. And there's a little overhang, like a little canopy in the middle of the pier. And then we've got the underneath of the pier, and then the pillars coming down. And they get smaller as they go away, go into off into the distance, that is. We've got some larger pillars underneath the building. And I love the plants in front. I love that. We've got the really big leaves that we're going to be putting in and some little smaller leaves. And a couple beach chairs. Little heads popping up there. And people are going to be very loose on the beach. We're just going to little head, little gist of a body, and some little pointy legs. I like doing people like this. It's just easy. You know what they are. You don't have to be perfect. And it's actually, I think they're more fun and creative this way. I'm not putting everybody in. There's a lot of stuff there. There's some coolers. There's a lot of people. There's some seaweed. I'm leaving all that out. I'm just putting in a few people here and there. I don't want it too busy. And now we'll put in some of the big leaves here on the right. And some squigglies for some spiky little plants on the left. Again, not getting too detailed, keeping it loose. And now there's some little overhang. It's like a little details there for the overhang on the top part of the building. Didn't really count them. I just put a couple here and there. I'll probably add one more there. When I get to that, I go back and I'll put one more of those into this overhang. There's a little gated fence there and a little more detail here. I'm going to put in some doorways and some windows. A couple people just above this sign. And I'm not really focusing and analyzing too much. I'm just trying to put some things in there to just fill in this space. The focal point's going to be basically the sign and the beach. And I'm going to go back in with the pencil, and that's a little too big. Go back in with the pencil and just pencil in my lettering just so I can fit it all in. I don't like going in with pen because I could start off like I just did there with a too big of a B, and then I'm stuck, and then I don't have enough room for the rest of the letters. So that'll work, just doing it that way, and then you can just go right over it with the pen. And this says LWB Pure General Store. And it has even more of a sign to the right of that, but I left it out. Now I can go back in over with my pen. And a lot of times I'm not going exactly over my pencil. That was just giving me a guideline. So this way now I'll just go, I'll know where to stop and start, but I might not follow exactly what I put in is what I'm saying. This is a nice size to work on, this paper, this 7 by 10, for a quick little 30-minute sketch. A few more little details. And then we're going to get the paint out and start doing some watercolor. First, I'm going to erase all the pencil lines. Because if you don't, then they're going to be set from the paint. You won't be able to erase them once you put your paint down. But some people like that look. They may like the pencil lines underneath. It gives it something, another visual, something different. But I like to, when I can remember, erase the pencil lines. So I've got my mailing watercolor paint set, and I've grabbed a big 3/4 inch brush. I'm going to start off with the sky with some sky blue and cobalt blue mixed together. And I took the washcloth out, and I can just lift it with my hand from here, and if I want the paint to run, or lay it flat when I want the paint to just stay put. I'm going to blot out a little bit of the sky with a paper towel as well once we get before it dries. So I have a paper towel on hand if you want to add a few little clouds. I'm not going exactly off of just putting in my own little clouds into the sky. This is an indigo blue, and that is going to be mostly my shadows. Underneath the pier, it's a little darker there. And I will do some aqua. What color is that? That is, oh, light turquoise. Light turquoise for the water. And the sand is I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow ochre to the indigo that was on the palette. Just a drop of indigo just to tone down that yellow ochre, and that'll be the sand. A little more indigo, adding in some more shadows and doorways and windows. I grabbed a smaller brush. This is my Zero Ducato size brush. I really love this brush because it has a really nice tip on it to get some detail work. Definitely would recommend you having this brush. It's just my go-to. And a little, you can see with the tip of this brush how nice it is for little details. Adding in a little some stripes into the umbrella, and we'll pop a little color into some of the people. Oh, I want to add a little bit of a horizon there. Just to break up that sky from the water so you can see the water behind there. We're going to go in with some lime green. I like a nice bright green for my plants. I like to keep everything bright. This palette doesn't even have a sap green, which is interesting. I do love sap green. It doesn't have sap green. But I do love the lime green. A little yellow ochre and some indigo. I'm just going to put in some of the wood structure of the railing there. And the pillars. A little sky blue, and I'm going to add a few more details into this flag, or excuse me, I was going to say flag, into the umbrella and the chairs. I'm going to put some clothes, pop in a little color on some of these people's clothes, a little red. I like bouncing the red around so your eye will kind of go into different areas where there's just a little pop of red. A little bit of olive green just to add a little darker shade into the tree, into the foliage. Give it some shadowing. Doesn't look like much right now, but it does come together. It's really cute at the end, so hang in there with me. there's that little overhang on the pier there. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to that. And a little bit more blue into some clothing. And then I'm going to do a little shadow, some indigo. Under the people and the chairs, and a little more shadowing in the building. And now that it's all dry, I'm going to prop it back up again so I could see where I'm adding some details. So with the sign, I'm going to highlight some of the lettering. I like to leave it kind of thick and thin, just gives it some interest. All different ways you could do this sign. You could do the sign if you'd like. You can color the sign in all dark and then go in with your uni-posca with the white paint pen, and you can just go in with doing the lettering that way too. That would be a really nice look. So the fun thing is there's always different ways to do things, and sometimes you have to think outside the box and just get creative. There's no right way, no wrong way. It's just your way. Yeah, I like the way that looks with the thick and the thin. It just gives it some character. So I'm going to continue on the bottom sign here, do somewhat the same, just kind of darken in some of that lettering. And then I'll look and see what else I need to do here. Just, I'm using my uni-ball micro, which is not the ultra micro, but the regular. It's a little bit bolder. of a line so I can get a little bit deeper detail, darker detail. I'll usually outline roof lines and windows at this point, any fencing. Just looking to see what else needs to be done. Add a few birds. That's always great for a beach scene. Gives you something, a little detail in the sky. And now I'm going to go in and just do some highlights with my uni-posca. And this is, let me see, this one is the PC-1M. And I'm going to go in where those the white little fence area up on the top there. And a little bit, some waves. You're not going to really see, it doesn't show unfortunately in a lighter paint, but up close you can see there'll be a few little white lines for some waves. And this is my finished sketch. So look at how cute. It turned out really well. I mean, I just really enjoyed this one because it was just, you got people and a beach, like I said, and pop a few birds in the sky, and you got a great beach scene. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for staying with me. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. And don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And I'll leave all the supplies that I used in the description below. And give it a go. This is a really fun, easy sketch, and it's got a lot of fun things you can practice on. So I hope you have a wonderful day sketching and creating some fun stuff of your own. So bye for now.